Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film. This is going to be a top 10 of movies that you can watch right now on Netflix US for the month of February 2019. So let's get started. Number 10, The Raid Redemption. In the Jakarta slums, a derelict apartment building has become a no-go area. Even the police are unwilling to enter. It has become a safe house for the most dangerous killers and gangsters. A SWAT team infiltrates the building under the cover of darkness to remove its owner, a notorious drug lord named Tama. If for some reason you haven't discovered the awesomeness that is The Raid Redemption, it is now time to check out this fantastic action extravaganza. Directed by Gareth Evans and starring Iko Uwais, a man who's become prominent in the action circuit, has been a terrific and fantastic action star. This is a kinetic, just to the wall, crazy action film which has some incredible action set pieces. If you just want pure action entertainment cinema, this is a movie to go to. Number 9, 13 Sins. A cryptic phone call sets off a dangerous game of risks for Elliot, a down-on-his-luck salesman. The game promises increasing rewards for completing 13 tasks, each more sinister than the last. 13 Sins, from the director of The Last Exorcist, is all about a character who gets a strange phone call. You know, we are watching you, we have cameras everywhere. Will you eat a dead fly for this much money? Yeah. Will you do this for so much money? And it escalates, and it's quite interesting because this person can walk away at any point with no money, but they have went so far and the money is getting larger and larger that they continue to do these ridiculously more elaborate, stranger and deadlier quests as it goes on, in ultimate chance to win this money. And they know there are so many rounds, and it is just a fun-filled movie that nobody seems to talk about. Nobody seems to have seen it. It's so much fun, and even though it sounds kind of like the torture porn kind of movies that came out, it's a little bit better than that, and it's definitely worth checking out. Number 8, American Gangster. Frank Lucas establishes himself as the #1 importer of heroin in the Harlem district of Manhattan. He does so by buying heroin directly from the source in Southeast Asia, and he comes up with a unique way of importing the drugs into the United States. It's also the story of a dedicated and honest policeman, Richie Roberts, who heads up a joint narcotics task force with the federal government. American Gangster, I just recently rewatched it and I loved it. It is perfect. It's a movie that I'd almost kind of forgot about. There is fantastic performances from Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington, as you would expect. Direction from Ridley Scott is pretty fantastic, and we get this all-encompassing fantastic tale where it seems to have been really organised and thought out. It's got a great script, and it's just a fascinating movie of two men, both destined for something, one greatness, one notorious, and it just a great sort of juxtaposition between these two characters. Fantastic tale, really well told. Number 7, The Monster. A divorced mother and her headstrong daughter must take an emergency late-night road trip to see the girl's father. As they're driving through deserted country roads on a stormy night, they suddenly have a startling collision that leaves them shaken but not seriously hurt. Their car is dead, and as they try in vain to get help, they realise that they're not alone. A terrifying evil is lurking in the woods. This is one of those movies I discovered just late last year, and I wondered why I'd never heard of it. It is a monster movie, but it's wrapped up in an emotional drama, and this is what really grounds the movie. It gives you the relationship between the daughter and the mother, and it starts off in one way and you think you have an idea of how that relationship is, but it twists and turns and plays out and becomes more fleshed out throughout the movie, ultimately leaving you with characters that you really feel for in this horrific situation. It's tense, it's exciting, it has great moments of horror, and it's just pretty downright fantastic. Number 6, Close. Hired to protect a pampered mining heiress, Zoe, bodyguard Sam finds herself tangled in a deadly conspiracy. When attackers target the heiress she is protecting, battle-hardened bodyguard Sam scrambled to save her client and teach her how to fight back. The first of a few Netflix originals on here stars Noomi Rapace, and this is a movie that you've seen plenty of times before. This version of this tale is really well done. It's not outstanding. It's not a movie that you're going to rave about or go on about, but it is one that you will genuinely enjoy as it is happening. You get Noomi Rapace as the bodyguard, who Has some fantastic action set pieces, some moments where she has to do hand-to-hand combat, and she sells it. She looks tough, hard as nails, and able to overcome obstacles with fighting people who are much bigger, much stronger than her. There is a terrific fight scene when she has her hands tied behind her back and fighting somebody that is so much bigger and stronger than her that is just breathtaking. There is also a terrific underwater fight scene as well, and this movie is just entertainment. Like I said, after you've seen it, you're not going to rave about it, but it'll leave a kind of positive memory. Number 5, Polar. The world's top assassin Duncan Visla is settling into retirement when his former employer marks him as a liability to the firm. Against his will, he finds himself back in the game, going head to head with an army of younger killers. It's based on a graphic novel. Knowing that going into it is probably going to do you the world of good. There's lots of comic sensibilities, from the transitions to the over-the-top caricatured bad guys that are there. But we do have one saving grace here, and that's Mads Mikkelsen as Duncan, and this tired, worn out, fed up killer who just has the instinct to survive and the ability to back it up. It's terrific to watch. There is plenty of ludicrous action set pieces. If you're looking for something serious, this is definitely not it. If you're looking for over the top, bloody, just ridiculous action set pieces, this is the kind of thing that you're going to get a lot of fun out. I know I did. I thought it was pretty fun, and I seem to be one of the few people that did. Number 4, Shirkers. In 1992, teenager Sandy Tan and her friends Sophie and Jasmine shot Singapore's first indie road movie called Shirkers. With their enigmatic American mentor, George Cardona, Sandy wrote the script and played the lead, a killer named S. After shooting Wrapped, George vanished with all the footage. 20 years later, the 16mm cans are recovered in New Orleans. This is a fascinating tale of what could have been. You know, these people were jazzed up, they were enthused, they were energetic, and they wanted to make a movie, and with sheer will and gusto, they did that. They made this movie against all odds. And this was a dream. This was something that could have kick-started the film making in that country, and could have really kick-started this career. And it was kind of robbed from them by this mysterious character who seems to have done this before. It's a really interesting tale that's sort of covering past transgressions and how to get over things that could have had a big impact in your life, coming to terms with what happened, and when somebody does something so erroneous as what this guy did. Number 3, Solo, a Star Wars story. Before he crossed paths with the rebellion, Han Solo was a former Imperial militant who became a space pirate cruising around the Outer Rim alongside his fellow outlaw, the mighty Wookiee Chewbacca. This is the story of how he came to be known as the galaxy's most notorious smuggler, and how the man became a legend. It's a movie that nobody really asked for, but it is fun, it's bright, it's very visceral, and it's in your face, and it's just a fun, entertaining ride of a Star Wars movie. Doesn't add anything to the galaxy, doesn't add anything to the universe that's been built up here. It just is a fun heist movie with some really great characters. I love Woody Harrelson. I love the train robbery. There's certain aspects of this movie that I just think are so much fun. And it's a shame that it kind of didn't do as well at the box office, because I would like to have seen further adventures of this character, which I initially didn't think I wanted. Number 2, The Incredibles 2. After the events of The Incredibles, Elastigirl is sent on a mission to make supers legal again. Mr. Incredible is left to care for Jack, Violet and Dash when a dangerous new threat arises. It is up to the family to neutralise that threat and save the day once again. I always liked The Incredibles, but it was never something that I went back to after my cinematic adventure with it. Seeing this one, it was something I really enjoyed. In fact, I went back a couple of times, and if I was to choose my favourite scene from any movie, last year it would have been a tough choice, but I think the Jack scene as he discovers his powers may well have been my favourite scene of the year. It is fun, it's entertaining, has a little bit of heart behind it. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll love this. If you can't really remember the first one, like I was when I went into it, it's fine. It's still entertaining, and there's not too much to catch up on. Number 1, Hell or High Water. In West Texas, 2 brothers go on a bank robbing rampage. They are targeting the branches of one bank in particular, the Texas Midland Bank. This bank is about to foreclose on the mortgage on their ranch and claim the property, and robbing the bank to pay its own loan seems appropriate. On the trail of the brothers is Texas Ranger Marcus Hamilton, with only a few weeks left till retirement. I love Hell or High Water. I think it's just the perfect marriage of actors, director, script. It just, everything comes together to create a wonderfully involving tale. You have your Robin Hood-like characters, the two brothers, one who's doing it for nobler reasons, one who is doing it for those reasons as well, because a little bit of a kick out of all the action and the destruction that they do cause. You get a fantastic grizzled old sheriff trying to hunt them down as well, and the dialogue just sparkles in every scene. And this is a movie that is so enjoyable, so fantastic, has thematics behind it, builds up these characters, and has a finish that is exciting, a little bit downbeat for some of the characters, but ultimately gives you a kind of rousing finish. It's a fantastic movie. So there we have it, 10 movies for you to watch this month on Netflix US. I hope you find something there that you want to check out, or something that you may have already seen and really enjoyed. Let people know in the comments your thoughts on these movies, or recommend me something else that I should be checking out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month on Man vs Film.